Today on This Old House,
we removed this bump out
to make room for a new addition off the back of the house.
We'll look under the vinyl siding to see if we can restore the old clapboards.
And we head to the lab to find out if our house has asbestos. Hi there, I'm Kevin O'Connor and welcome back to This Old House here in Newburyport, Massachusetts, where we're working on this little gem built back in the 1890s. Our homeowners have moved out because we are almost ready for demolition. But first, a couple things we need to tend to. Hey Heath.
Hey Kevin.
Getting us ready for demo?
Yeah, making sure that everything's safe to work on.
So what is that process for you?
So for us, we turn the power off, make sure it's safe to work in the panel with the power being disconnected outside. Next, we're going to go ahead and take the wires off the existing breakers to make sure that nothing gets turned on by accident when they're working.
So physically disconnect that from the breaker.
Exactly. That way no one can turn them on and get hurt.
And then what do we use for power upstairs?
And then for temp power, we're going to take the temporary power cords we have and put them on each floor.
All right, yep, we've seen these before.
Yep. And we're going to connect that to a GFCI breaker to make sure everyone stays safe.
And then we can pop it back on and we're good to go?
And we'll be good to go.
All right, thank you. I'll let Charlie know. Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Kevin.
So porch is getting converted?
It's going to be made part of the living room. Going to gain about 80 square feet.
Nice.
And as you see, we have two front entries, really.
Right.
Going to eliminate this one, tear the stairs out, and where the screen door is, we're going to put a window.
Okay.
And on this side, it'll be a solid wall, give some privacy for the neighbors.
Nice.
Let me show you around. We'll see right here, this 1890s house has really lost its luster. Way back, they covered it with vinyl siding.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, there's not even any more window trim showing. They
That's
brought the
big
siding right up to the edge of the windows.
Yeah.
These are replacement insert windows, losing about 1.25 inches of glass on each side. So by putting new window units in, we're going to let a lot more light into the house.
And so what do you want to do to the siding?
We're going to remove all the vinyl siding, exposing the old clapboards, and we'll patch and paint and scrape as needed.
And will we get our trim back?
Going to get the trim back. It's going to look great. Let me show you out back. We had this sugar maple here. It was well over 60 feet, in danger of falling, so they made the decision to pull it out now.
So that had to be a big job, right?
It was a big job, and we're fighting a lot of things in this neighborhood, right? Residents are fairly close together. We have overhead power lines right in the street, so we started with a big crane to come right in and reach over everything.
And what was the process?
Well, they started with the center of the tree. They take that out first.
Gotcha.
And then they strategically work around the tree, taking branches from each side.
And they're piling it down on the ground?
They're piling it down and they're chipping it right at the same time with that mechanical arm that grabs it and feeds it right into the chipper. So once they remove most of the branches, they leave one single at the top. They wrap the sling around that, they put tension on it with the crane, and that way, when the guy's cutting with the chainsaw, there's no tension on the bar, and it cuts it nice and clean. Then they hoist it right up over all the power lines, and we're going to use some of the wood from that tree for part of the renovation.
So you really need to know what you're doing with this thing.
You really do.
And so what's going on over here, Charlie?
Well, that window on the right is a dining room window. We're going to replace that with new French doors. That way the homeowners can come out of the dining room onto the patio.
Oh, that's nice.
It is going to be nice. We took out our old pavers, palletized them, and you've got them off-site for now. The reason we took out the pavers is because we want to bring up the grade about 7 inches, and that'll give us one less step going into the house.
And then patio pavers go back down?
And the patio pavers go back down.
Nice. And so this corner is where our additions go, and they've started work with excavation, obviously.
It is, and that little bump out that you see, we have to remove that, because we have a new 3-story addition counting the basement, and the basement is going to be a walk-in from the driveway.
Gotcha.
So the first floor is going to be a new mudroom, expanding the kitchen into that area, and then the second floor will be a primary bedroom.
Nice. Hey, John.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm well. It looks like you're ready to go.
I am.
So you're suspicious we got asbestos?
Oh, very. This is the perfect candidate for an asbestos-containing building product. It's linoleum from the 70s and 80s, and the real giveaway is it's in fantastic shape. Asbestos was the good stuff.
Wow. So the fact that it's in good shape suggests that it's in there. That's kind of ironic.
Yes, it is.
It's nasty stuff. I mean, it's fine now for the homeowners in this condition.
It is, in its present form, it's fine. It's covered with a sheet of vinyl, but the backing probably has a high amount of asbestos. You don't want it in your lungs. The body would deal with it, and a cancer would form probably over time.
Which is why we're worried about it in terms of demolition, disturbing it, getting airborne. So what are you going to do for us?
We're just going to cut out a small piece, bag it up, and ship it off to the lab.
All right. Well, you've got the nice white suit on, so I'll excuse myself and let you get to it.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. We're going to test two other areas. We're going to test some skim coat plaster in the dining room and some flue cement in the basement.
We sent our 3 samples to a local lab. I'm headed over to understand how they test for asbestos.
Kevin, before we go over to test your samples, I wanted to stop and show you some fibers that I have up on my screen.
Okay.
The first fiber I wanted to show you is a man-made fiber. It's fiberglass. It's clear, uniform in shape, and it's very distinct.
Very straight.
It's very straight. And then down here, we have cellulose fiber. It's an organic fiber. It's flat. It's ribbon in shape.
Completely different.
Completely different. All fibers are going to have their own optical properties. Asbestos fibers will check about 7 or 8 optical properties to confirm that it is indeed asbestos. And we can take you over to Christina now to test your samples.
So Christina, what are you looking at?
All right, Kevin, I have your linoleum sample underneath my stereoscope. I've plucked out a few suspect fibers, and I've got them prepped up on my screen over here.
So that's an actual fiber that you pulled?
Yes, it is. I'm highly suspicious that it's asbestos, and I'm going to confirm that by going through the optical properties. The first one that we're looking at here is something called dispersion staining. In the vertical here, you'll see a very distinct electric blue color.
A lot of color.
A lot of color. And as we rotate the stage, you're seeing a very distinct change to a magenta color in the parallel.
What does the change tell you?
The change is very characteristic of chrysotile asbestos.
One of them.
One of the characteristics. But that distinct color change, that looks very much like asbestos to me. But we're going to continue so that we can confirm it. I'm now going to change the way the light is moving through the microscope into something called the pink field.
So you're manipulating the light.
I am. I'm manipulating the light. And here we see that we have the asbestos fiber lined up in this orientation, appearing to have a blue color. And as we rotate the stage on the microscope, which changes the way the light is moving through the fiber,
Look at that.
we see that it changes to a yellow color.
Because it changed colors the way you expected, you're suspicious of asbestos. If it hadn't performed that way, you could probably rule it out?
If it had absolutely no color change, it would not be asbestos.
Gotcha.
And if it had a different type of color change, we would not be able to necessarily rule out asbestos, but we could rule out chrysotile asbestos, which is the most common type in the United States. The next optical property that we're going to take a look at is in what's called my dark field. And here we have the same fiber that we've been looking at. And as we rotate the microscope stage, you will see portions of the fiber go extinct at certain angles. And that's happening when it's perfectly lined up parallel. You can see bits of this fiber going extinct and perfectly perpendicular.
So that one on the right just sort of disappeared.
See that? Yeah, it's going through and it disappears as it moves through.
So you're using some sophisticated equipment. You clearly have an experienced eye because that's just jumping out at you. Nobody in the field could just pick up a piece of material and be like, asbestos.
No, it requires the polarized light microscope in order to confirm that it's asbestos.
You have to test, you have to go to a lab.
You have to test. There is no way to confirm asbestos out in the field, and you're not going to see them with the naked eye.
So you have to look through 7 or 8, I heard. You look through ours. What did you determine?
I have determined that your sample is in fact positive for asbestos.
So
it
we
has
have to-
all of the characteristics.
So we've got to abate that in that bathroom. Any other samples we sent you?
We did not detect these fibers, and therefore they're negative.
So 1 out of 3.
Yep.
So we will abate the 1, and the other ones are okay.
Yep.
All right, thanks,
All
Christina.
right, good luck.
Polyethylene film, duct tape, and negative air pressure machines are used to abate the asbestos bathroom floor. This prevents contaminating other areas of the house. The contractors wear protective suits, hoods, and respirators. The asbestos is secured and sent to a landfill that accepts asbestos waste. All of this is done so fibers cannot become dislodged or inhaled, and therefore they pose no risk. Charlie, no surprise, lab confirmed we have asbestos, but it's limited just to that front bathroom, so clean everywhere else.
That's good news.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take this bump out off. So the power's been cut.
Yeah.
We have temp power from Heath. Now we're gonna start from the inside, take some saws, cut down the side walls, cut the roof out, and take it off with the machine.
Cool, I'll give you a hand.
Great.
How do you want to start this, Charlie?
All right, let's take the plaster ceiling first down. And we're gonna cut right from top down to the bottom, right to the sills.
Ah, look at that, Charlie.
That's what we thought. Roof rafters come up, or to the boards on the outside of the house. Just gonna take the sawzall, run it along those boards, cut the rafters, and that'll break the roof free.
All right. Charlie, no obstructions, you're all clear.
Okay, got it. All right, Kevin, make that final cut. All right, Kevin, let's put the forks through the window, put the frame up right to the siding. I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna raise you up, and let's see if this will break free from the foundation. If it does, we'll rip the whole thing off. If not, we'll bring it back out.
Got it.
A little more. Go ahead. A little more.
Resistance.
That's really holding down to the sill. Pull it all the way back out. Let's go to plan B. Push through. Push through. Go ahead. All right, go ahead. Perfect. Pull it back if you can.
You want my left fork to go through the open doorway,
Yep.
puncture my right through the wall.
Yep, and then I think that you might be able to angle the whole building back. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, in. Go ahead, more. Good. Bring it up. Lift it up. Perfect. Nice. Now pull the boom back to you. All right, let's put it over there, Kevin.
Well, it came in 2 pieces, but that actually worked pretty well.
It did. It was a nice work. Really was. But you're not done, though. We still got to button this up before you go.
Oh, maybe I should get some gas.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe this old house project relies on behind-the-scenes workers across the trades to get the job done. At 75 years old, Billy Glidden has become a fixture on our Newburyport project.
I'm not one to be late. Put it that way, I'm always early.
So I've seen you banging around in here. I mean, you're pretty much doing it all. I've heard never on the phone, never taking a break.
Every day's an adventure. I do almost everything. Rip down the walls, take up the floors. If he needs it, I help him do it. There ain't nothing I can't really do.
3 years ago, Billy was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. It's a progressive brain disorder that causes uncontrollable movements, such as shaking, and difficulty with balance and coordination.
When I tense up, I get the shakes. I feel it, but I keep it out of my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that, the hand shakes quite a bit. So what's it like working if the hand is shaking all the time?
Well, it ain't too bad. If I got a hammer in my hand or something, it don't shake.
It's like it was meant to hold a hammer.
If I start moving around, banging nails and stuff, it don't bother me. Because I think it's more of a mind game at that point.
The symptoms of Parkinson's disease usually begin gradually and worsen over time. So a couple years back when they diagnosed you, what did they tell you exactly?
I had Parkinson's.
Just like that.
How else is he gonna say, you got Parkinson's? Nothing we can do for you. So that didn't go over too big with me. Normally I don't like talking about it because sometimes it upsets me, but it ain't gonna go away.
No.
No,
Did they tell you how to handle it?
just told me to do exercises and stuff like that. There's nothing they could do. I believe that keeping myself busy, it kind of slow the process down on the Parkinson's.
You feel like you're fighting through it every day?
It's a battle. This is how I keep it out of my mind. Do work. I ain't gonna sit around in the house. What good is it gonna do with me sitting around in the house?
Well, I mean, you could be doing something else, though. You don't have to be working this hard.
I ain't that kind of guy. I'm used to, believe me. If there's work to be done, I'll do it. Doesn't matter what it is. Because every day, you open your eyes and put your feet down, like I said, I'm still here, no problem. I go to work.
Well, Billy, what you're doing, it's an inspiration to a lot of people. And you're part of our team. We're glad to have you.
Well, I hope I can help someone.
You are. You're helping it by just doing this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Whoa, what a difference a day makes, huh? Look at you guys.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. So the porch came off as promised.
It did. We took a bottle jacked some pressure off from the roof, put some stakes in the ground so we could get a couple of 2x8, screw them together. Took the ball jack out, took some saws and cut it up.
And demo went okay for you guys?
Went very smoothly, especially the framing for the deck. We took the machine, stabbed it with the forks, pulled it right into the dumpster.
Gotcha. So saving the roof, Tommy, that makes sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, why not? I mean, think about it. Today's cost with labor and material, that roof is already framed and the material's already up there, so why buy new?
Yeah.
And if we open it up and find there's a problem, if we have to reframe it, then we will.
All right. So what's the plan for right now?
Well, we're going to assess the situation underneath the vinyl siding, the condition of it, because this wall's coming down. And if this siding is good and there's any damaged siding around the other parts of the house, if we make a change with trim and we need a piece of siding, we can utilize this old siding if we can save it.
Right. Well, let's see what we got.
We normally start at the top, but we're just going to look at the condition of the wall here. So if we open up this J channel and get in here and pull the siding out of the channel right here, this is interlocking piece to this, and these nails, see how they don't go in all the way because you want the vinyl hung on the wall so it'll move. So this is going to come off pretty easy. So take that one off, then we get in there and we pull the nails out.
Vinyl's actually in pretty good condition.
It's in good shape, yeah. You know what they say, vinyl is final. Once you get it on the house, there's no maintenance, there's no painting. So let's get this house wrap right on. Yeah, you start to see the siding. Oh, actually it looks like it's in pretty good shape.
Well, you like what you see?
I do like what I see. I mean, other than the fact we have the staples to pull out and you got a couple broken from the nails for the siding, but
not funky, not rotted.
Funky. I mean, they obviously sided the house because it needed a paint job.
They just didn't want to paint anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the thing. You know, you put it up, you don't have to paint it anymore.
And how about the trim that you're seeing around the window?
Well, you can see here, this is a siding job where the original casing was here, that detail of the window, which is really nice, and it's celebrated with the sill that goes all the way out, and sometimes there's what is called a horn that sticks out a little bit further, but this was almost flush, a little bit of a detail there. Well, when the siding guy comes in, they basically run a saw down here, they take the hammer and they smash it and break this piece off because they don't have to cover the trim. They bring the J channel right up tight, and then the siding goes in here, and then you have a smaller detail.
So it really just covered up all the original details.
Right.
We lost the original trim, we lost the original outdoor sill.
Right, and that's too bad when they do that. I mean, I like the details of a house. I mean, those little things that you see, but you don't really know what you're looking at. It's the thing that celebrates the detail of the house.
Initial assessment, though, you guys think you got good enough siding around this house, probably?
It's all good news. Now we have extra clapboards that we can use somewhere else on the house if needed.
We like good news, don't we?
Yeah.
All right. Well, next time here on our Newburyport project, the demo will be complete. We've got some new framing starting inside, and we've got a staircase that needs to be moved. So until then, I'm Kevin O'Connor.
I'm Charlie Silva.
I'm Tom Silva.
This Old House, Newburyport, Massachusetts. Next time on This Old House, we found a bamboo fishing pole buried in our walls, and that inspired us to find out more about our house from a local historian.
And this is the Merrimack River, where wildlife is thriving and where for over 50 years, wastewater has been discharged safely into it.
We'll replace that old, narrow, steep staircase with a new winder that's comfortable and up to code.